Thanks for joining us on MaxSpeedTV Racing for the Dogs of Racing Endurance League here at Watkins Glen, New York. Beautiful day out, 84 degrees. Got a strong wind out of the northeast at 16 miles per hour. So we'll have to see how that affects the cars. In the final minutes of practice here before we go to qualifying. This is going to be a mixed car multi-class event. We're going to have the Riley Daytona prototype, the Rough RT 12RC spec, which looks like a Porsche, people. Skip Barber Formula 2000. And street stock. So it does look like we have representation of all four cars here in the practice. Final couple minutes of practice, everyone's making sure the cars are ready to go, and everything's buttoned up for qualifying. This will be a 90-minute race. And we got Leela Wilson out there in the 864 car. Pretty cool looking paint job. Looks like Smokey and the Bandit on the hood there. He's got the Firebird. Reminds me of Smokey and the Bandit. Neat paint job, Leela. Leela is the only one in the street stock. The other car that appears to be out there, a unique car by themselves, is Taurus in the 44. Running the Skip Barber car. And practice is checkered flag, so we're going to head into qualifying. Looks like we're going to have 4 laps over 10 minutes. So those will be individual laps, not as a group. Several cars taken out to do their 4 laps. It does take a while to get around here at Watkins Glen, and 10 minutes, you can get your 4 laps done, but you do need to start right away. Let's check in with Kevin O'Keefe in the Rutgers car, 206. See how he's doing on his qualifying run. As he shakes the car to us, warming up those tires. And really don't need to do anything crazy on the out lap here. But when you come around to take that green flag and get that first lap going, that's when you want the tires up to temperature and really got your head on straight more than anything. He brings it down what I can call the backstretch. This particular track has a lot of different configurations. It appears we're running the longest one that goes around this track. Now he's coming down towards pit road now. One more turn and we'll end up at the entrance of the pits and coming around to the start-finish line for the green flag. And these Riley DP cars, you can really drive those cars in deep, and it looks like he certainly did there going into one. Let's see who else is running laps out here. No times posted as of yet. People are still coming around on their first of the 4 attempts. Looks like Rutgers Kev gets a little wide there and almost gets off, pushing it for all it's worth. And he almost spins it out there going through, I believe that's turn 10. So tires are superheated at this point, and gonna have to hope for lap 2 probably. But whenever I race here, I consistently get faster the longer I go. And there's the time, a 1:42.229 for Kevin O'Keefe. Our provisional pole setter is going to be Kevin Binkley with a 1:42.0. So Rutgers Kev 2/10 off. Provisional pole there. Kevin Smith third, 1:43.4. That does not hold up. Brian Herring completes his first lap. He's a 1:41.8, so we break that 1:42 mark. Certainly looks like the Daytona prototypes are the fastest cars here. So several cars, 9 cars got their times up so far. Our provisional pole sitter will be the 33 of Brian Herring and that GNC Oracle machine with a 1:41.8. Let's keep our eye on him and see if he can better his time here and do what I call a Sebastian Vettel. Go out and put up the P1 and then go out and do it better. Got that curb a little bit. That upset the car. He had to check up to not go off track. And Rutgers Kev takes the provisional pole away from Brian Herring with a 1:41.522. Great second lap there. Brian Herring crosses the line and it does not get a faster time on his second lap. He starts his third. Michael Valentin has moved up to the third spot with a 1:41.9. So we got 3 guys now below that 1:42 mark. And I'm sure, looking back at Kevin O'Keefe and the 206, I'm sure he's breathing a sigh of relief with that lap of the 1:41.5, 3/10 better than Brian Herring, 1:41.8. So he's out there maybe trying to get it better. We'll have to see. That's going to be a tough one to beat. As he comes around to the final corner before the stripe. I believe this is Kevin's third lap. See if he does it any better. No, at the 1:43.1. So let's see if anyone else has anything for these DPs up front. We have 7 DPs. And then we start the roughs, which I'll probably be calling Porsches because I'm not much of a road racer and still learning about these cars. I understand they're Porsche bodies with Mercedes engines, so I'm sure that's probably wrong, but send the emails in anyway and let us know. Taking a look at the roughs, Whalebrenner in the 219 is our provisional pole sitter amongst that group with a 156.03. That's a good half second over Albine Norberg in second there for the roughs with a 156.5. Third in that group is Chris Lanini with a 156.7. Taking a look at the other classes, let's take a look at the 55. Little guard dog out there in the open wheel car, I will call it. He's got a time of 2:16.6 with Taurus in second with a 2:16.8, so 2/10 difference there. And then Leela brings up the rear with the street stock of time of 2:18.6. Pardon me. 2 seconds off of the other cars. And time is running out. We're down to the final seconds of qualifying. Brian Herring is our provisional pole sitter overall and amongst the DPs with a 140.8. Looking at the qualifying times, it appears these two guys are well ahead of everybody else as far as times go. And here we go to grid. So as we prepare for grid, let's take a look at the starting lineup. Brian Herring is our pole sitter with a 140.8 in that 33. Kevin O'Keefe is second. Michael Valentine third. Kevin Binkley in that Omega machine is running fourth. Juha Kili in the 12 car. No sponsorship on this white car. Let's get a sponsor on him. Kevin Smith in this Bridgestone Passion for Excellence Daytona prototype. Starting 7th is Pogo Boy. And the pole sitter for the roughs is B. Wheelbrenner in that 219 car. Albine Norberg will start second there. Chris Lanini, third amongst the roughs. Then Eflo Tatawa will be 11th overall, or 4th amongst the roughs. Then Jimmy Effling in that 36. Rounding out the roughs, Chuck back there in the 865. Nice flames on that blue rough. Good looking paint job there. Leela Wilson in that Smokey and the Bandit Firebird Trans Am Street Stock. And then we got Little Guard Dog in the 55. Barber car. And bringing up the rear, the 44 of Taurus in that Mazda. So we're going to have one lap going around, and then we'll take the green after the pace car ducks off. Thanks for joining us here at MaxSpeedTV. Make sure to find us over on Facebook at MaxSpeedTV. Make sure to find the Dogs of Racing Endurance League over on Facebook. They got a nice group over there. I went over there and liked their page this week. Good stuff. Lots of really fast road course drivers in here. I've watched some of the practices and runs over the last few days these guys have been working on. Very impressed, so we'll see how this race goes. As they go past the entrance to the shorter version of the course where those cones were, that takes you up towards pit road, but this is the wide or the scenic version, as I call it. We zoom down this hill, and then there's a tight turn here. Turn you around all the way the other direction, up onto the back straight. Lots of good paint jobs out here. Brian Herring and his GNC Oracle machine. Looks like I see the Corvette emblem on the front of that. Really cool. Branding that Corvette. So Brian Herring is our pole sitter for the Watkins Glen race here. We have 90 minutes of racing. So as we prepare for green, these guys are settling in and pull down on those belts. Get ready. Kevin O'Keefe gives him a wide berth, but kind of is out in front of the leader here.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag. He can't beat the leader to the line. He doesn't. He slows down enough. Brian Herring brings them down into one. They're 3 wide back here for a second. They think better of it. All line up here. '54 goes wide, taps the wall there. Side by side for second. Kevin O'Keefe dives it in there. The 54 is losing multiple spots after hitting the wall there, as Brian Herring just drives off. So it looks like the Daytona prototypes have finally sorted out here. Michael Valentine is the loser there, lost a couple spots. Everyone else moved up. Taking a look back at the roughs here, Wheelbrenner is holding out front in front of the roughs, in front of Albie Norbert. As the 45 car is coming up through there, one of the Daytona prototypes. Kevin Smith. Oh, we have a car spun around and won there. Let's go back and see what happened. The 54 car, Michael Valentine, watching the replay, he blows the engine going into one, probably missed a gear, went from third to first, would be my guess, and spins it around, and the engine is gone. I'm going to take a look at that replay one more time. Coming down the front stretch. Let's go to the cockpit view here and see if we can hear the downshifting. Wow, it's just like I didn't even hear the downshift. It's like the engine just blew. So we'll have to see if we can get a word with him and see what happened. Brian Herring is still our leader by 1.8 seconds over Kevin O'Keefe. Kevin Binkley continues to be in third spot. Juha Keeley in fourth, with Pogo Boy running fifth. It does not appear that Michael Valentine is in TeamSpeak, so we're not going to be able to talk to him. He is shown back in 12th right now. Meanwhile, back up front, let's take a look at the leaders. Brian Herring continues to lead Rutgers Kev by 1.8 seconds. We're on lap 3, 10 minutes in, so we got a long ways to go. Let's stay with the first two and see what the gap is as they cross the line. See if Kevin's gaining or losing. He is gaining. Now it's 1.3 seconds. He gained almost a half second there. Don't know if that was Brian slipping or Kevin gaining, but the gap is shrinking slightly. Looking back at third, that gap has increased a little. 5 seconds back is Kevin Binkley in that Omega machine. Running pretty much by himself, because back in fourth is 11 seconds back, Juha Keeley in that unsponsored number 12. 4 seconds back from there, the 63 of Pogo Boy. Running sixth, Kevin E. Smith in that Bridgestone Daytona prototype. 25 seconds back. Let's take a look at the roughs. Wheelbrenner continues to lead the roughs. 43 seconds back from the overall leader, but exactly 1 second ahead of Albie Norberg in second amongst the roughs. I love the color scheme here on Wheelbrenner. I was just taking a look at that. I'm thinking Windows 8. It doesn't say it anywhere, but the color and the emblem on the hood say Windows to me. So pretty cool paint job there. Helmet to match too. So let's take a look at Norberg, and he's in the Bridgestone machine as well. Matching colors up there with, who was it? Kevin Smith was also running Bridgestone, but in a different kind of car. Nice looking clean paint job there too for Albin Norberg. About 4 seconds back from Albin is Chris Lanini in that DuPont rough. I feel like a dog barking every time I say that name. Quite a ways back from there, 12 seconds back from there, Chuck running just ahead of Jimmy Eifling. Two beautiful blue cars here. Actually, the Eflo, I can't say his name, Eflo Tawa in that peak DSD machine. He got around Chuck. No, I don't, he didn't. He's chasing Chuck. So moving on to the next class, we got Lil Guard Dog running with Leela Wilson and Torres. And Leela's the sandwich in the middle here. What a odd combination to see here. Whoa, and there goes Lil Guard Dog off track, spins it around. Luckily, everyone got through there. He's being real careful swinging around here, not to pull in front of somebody. Tough break there. All these cars are lapped down, these Formula cars. Looks like Michael Valentine is taking his car behind the wall. Little Guard Dog bringing up the rear. Let's see how he runs here. I didn't see any damage from that spin. But probably a little shaken up, I would think. Let's go see what's going on with the 36 car. He just told everyone to pass left. Real slow here through the last turn. Rolling back on the replay on the 36. He just gets it out of shape there in the corner. He spins, but saves it. No harm, no foul. I guess overcooked the tires and let all these DPs go. All right, meanwhile, let's go back to the front. The leader, Brian Herring, continues to lead Kevin O'Keefe, but Kevin continues to shrink that gap, 1.2 seconds back. It actually looks smaller than that, so that was as of the last time across the line. Looks like Kevin's coming. But you got to remember, this is a long run situation. You got to save your tires, and they've got to last the whole fuel run. So it looks like first, second, and third are running here within 3.5 seconds of each other. Kevin Binkley running in third, keeping those leaders in sight. From there back to fourth, that's 17 seconds back to Juha Keeley. So Looks like we have 3 cars in this race as of lap 8 for the overall win, I should say. Let's go take a look at Wheelbrenner as he goes around one of the Formula cars, Taurus. Norberg gets by as well. And looks like Leela Wilson has some trouble there. Had that car sideways out of the corner. Yeah, let's take a look at Wilson. Oh, we're almost 3 wide here with Wilson. Nope. The 44 of Taurus thinks twice there before getting in there. I'm guessing Leela Wilson is out of tires already, and that car is just sliding around. Here comes some data prototypes up real fast on these 2 cars. Let's see how they get by. That's the GNC Oracle machine and Kevin O'Keefe. And they let the leaders go on by. Here comes Binkley as he goes by in the Omega machine. And yeah, quite a difference in the cars here and the speed amongst the different cars. Certainly looks like Taurus is keeping up though with the street style. So we got 9 cars on the lead lap. And we got a race with the lead for sure. Let's take a look at Brian Herring and Kevin O'Keefe. And Kevin O'Keefe is all over Brian Herring, filling up those mirrors. Both of them sliding around a little bit there. And we got lap traffic. Let's see how this plays out. The Bridgestone machine of Albie Norberg gives way to the leaders as they go by. The 219 car, Wheelbrenner's right there too. And Herring slips trying to go around him. Kevin O'Keefe is on the outside. We have a race 3 wide for the lead. Kevin O'Keefe's got the preferred line on the inside. He's going to take it. What a pass for the lead. Ryan Herring, I'm sure, is freaking out. Wow, what just happened? This has allowed Binkley to actually close up that gap he had to these guys. And Herring drives it in there on Kevin O'Keefe, gets right up on the bumper. Kevin drives him down low, holds him down a line, side by side, going into one. Wow, what a race for the lead here, side by side at Watkins Glen. Herring had the preferred line, gets the lead back. Now Binkley wants a piece of this. Binkley's right on O'Keefe. Boy, O'Keefe drives it in there. Makes up a few car lengths getting in. Looks like Herring's a little faster getting out. And yeah, we were lucky everyone didn't wreck there, in my opinion. That was pretty intense. As we continue to monitor this battle for the lead, first, second, third, really tight right now. On lap 10, we are 22 minutes into a 90-minute session. Brian Herring, he just needs to hit his marks right now. He's got a lot of pressure from O'Keefe. O'Keefe probably thinks he's faster if he can get out front and pull away. But he's really pushing here. As the fuel burns off in these cars, back end gets a little lighter. It's a little bit different to drive than when it's full of fuel. Just checking the replay of the 232 and the 55 car. Lil Guard Dog has more issues here. Looks like he spins it coming off out of the bus stop. Self one car spin, but almost gets taken out by one of the roughs, but luckily no contact, and Lil Guard Dog is able to move on. Back up front, let's see what's going on. Kevin O'Keefe's still right there. Looks like these guys have settled down a little bit. Boy, was that exciting. The leader splitting traffic, making it 3 wide for the lead. So with the different kinds of cars, that certainly helps in that aspect. There is going to be lap traffic. We know it because these other cars are much slower than these faster ones. You can tell watching Kevin O'Keefe here, he's up on that wheel. But Brian Herring continues to impress here, running his line, not trying to get spooked by the guy right on his tail. Really see the back end kind of stepping out in these corners as it gets lighter and lighter with the fuel load burning off. All right, let's take a look at the roughs. They're all a lap down at this point. Wheelbrenner continues to be the leader of the roughs. With the 12 car going by Juha Keeley. Running second is still Albie Norberg, keeping Wheelbrenner in his sights. Running third for the roughs is Chris Lanini in that DuPont 222 machine. Nice looking colors there. White, but it's got a red trim around the white. Really kind of makes it pop. And then running in fourth in that group is Eflo Ottawa. That peak DSD machine. I assume DSD means Derek Spears Designs. Derek Spears, I understand, is designing some new pedals, and was talking to Little Guard Dog about those today. I'm in the market for some pedals, and what a great group of drivers to get advice from here in the Dogs of Racing Endurance League as far as pedals goes. These guys are all in, you can tell. Running fifth in that in the roughs is Chuck in the 865 machine. Running 12th overall, but first in her class, Leela Wilson out there getting it done in the Smokey and the Bandit machine. What I love about this street stock car this paint job is the back end is a totally different paint job than the front end. It's almost like, she had a couple cars and welded them together. Love it. Love it. Great paint job. All right, going through the field, or continuing through the field, Torres in the 44. Bunch of lap traffic here. But Torres is our class leader in the Skip Barber racing cars. Oh, we got one off in the gravel there. It looks like the Bridgestone machine. Kevin E. Smith. Let's take a look at the replay. Coming up for this last set of corners, he gets, he checks up for Leela Wilson at the street stock, and to avoid hitting her, basically spins himself out. No damage, but then coming back onto the track, spins himself again and backs into the fence. And that rear wing is down a little bit on the right side. It's going to have to get that repaired. Yeah, that back right wing is bent down. Wonder how that's going to affect his lap times. We're going to have to take a watch of that and see if they go down any, or if Kevin's going to come pit. So we're on lap 14. And boy, Kevin Smith dodging lap traffic left and right, getting through there. Back up front, Brian Herring has pulled out a lead on Kevin O'Keefe. I'm not sure what happened. In fact, Binkley got around O'Keefe. I'm going to roll back on a replay and see what happened to O'Keefe here. As they come up on, the leaders come up for lap 15 on a replay. Kevin O'Keefe just slow off the corner, the final corner there, and Binkley gets it alongside and drives it in on the inside, gets the preferred line, and gets the second spot. Binkley up to second. So back live, Brian Herring here in the 33 continues to lead every lap so far. Kevin Binkley in the One Machine Omega running second. But Kevin O'Keefe's right on his tail in third. And O'Keefe really can drive it in there a little bit harder than some of these other guys. But, you know, in road racing, it's all about coming off the corner, too. So, it all evens out. These top three are fairly equal. They continue to pull away, the top three, from Juha Kili in fourth. He's now 37 seconds back. And the next up to go a lap down will be Pogo Boy and Kevin Smith, fifth and sixth running Daytona prototypes. There goes Leela Wilson down another lap, as well as the 44 of Taurus. They give way to the leaders. So we have 6 cars on the lead lap. Probably soon to be 4 within the next few laps. They're going to catch Pogo Boy and Kevin E. Smith as they put the DuPont machine down another lap. One of the roughs giving way to the leaders there. We're on lap 17. Thanks for joining us at MaxSpeedTV. Make sure to find us over on Facebook. Thanks for joining us for the Dogs of Racing Endurance League. Kevin O'Keefe is making a run at the lead here. He's right on the tailgate. Brian Herring trying to force a mistake. Here's another lap car. Oh, and Brian Herring drives in too much and goes deep. Kevin gets on the inside. They're side by side here, but it looks like Brian Herring has a better run. Can he hold it? First, second, third, all running for the lead. Oh, and Brian Herring spins almost. He saves it. And we have a new leader, Kevin O'Keefe. So Brian Herring falls from first to third. With all the pressure Kevin was putting on, it was just enough to force a mistake. Oh, and O'Keefe almost spins it out. And now we got Binkley as our new leader. As they're trying to get around the rough, this is a tough spot to catch his lap traffic. So we've had 2 different leaders now 3 different leaders, as Kevin O'Keefe dives it in and regains the lead back from Binkley. Power move through the bus stop. Battled for a second. And Brian Herring gets by Binkley up to second as Kevin O'Keefe pulls a little lead here. Now let's see if Herring can close it back up. Tires are starting to wear. You can tell these guys are slipping a little bit. But just driving their guts out. Looks like Taurus is on pit road with heavy damage. Let's roll back and see what happened to the 44 of Taurus. Coming up the hill out of turn 2. I'm picking up the replay here. It's actually the 12 car of Juha Keeley coming up on Leela Wilson really fast and just spins it trying to avoid Leela. Keeps it out of the wall, but Taurus doesn't. So again, everyone avoiding the street stock and spinning here. The 12 makes it through, but Taurus does not. Really stuffs it into the wall. That's a hard hit. And you can actually see the rear tire is on the other side of the fence. So back to the battle up front. Let's see what's going on. Kevin O'Keefe is pulling a lead here, 1.5 seconds over Brian Herring. Kevin Binkley's right there with Herring. So Herring has not been able to keep up here, to keep that gap consistent. Let's see if it continues to grow. Running in fourth, Juha Keeley after that spin out. Very lucky not to hit anything going up the hill there to the narrowest part of the track. With Taurus wrecking and everything. Real surprised not to get damage on that 12 car. But Juha Keeley is still on the lead lap. Pogo Boy is in fifth spot, still on the lead lap. And then Kevin E. Smith has some significant damage in that 46 along the the left side, the left front, pretty crinkled up there. Looks like the right rear wing is down too. So Kevin E. Smith showing a lap down in that 46 Bridgestone machine. Let's see what's going on with the roughs as he comes up on the leader of the roughs, Wheelbrenner. He gets around Wheelbrenner. But Wheelbrenner has pulled the lead on Chris Lanini. Something has happened to Albine Norberg. He's on pit road with heavy damage. Leela Wilson pulls it onto pit road. Taurus is still on pit road. Looks like Little Guard Dog pulls it onto pit road too. As Leela Wilson takes two. No, taking 4 tires on that street stock. I'm going to do a replay on the Norberg incident. Let's see what the 2 car did. Was having a great race there in second. So Norberg actually wrecked a few laps ago. Coming out onto the final backstretch before coming down towards pit road, just spun it around, slapped the wall pretty darn hard on the left side and tore that car up. So tough break for Albin Norberg, running second up to that point. Continues to sit on pit road getting repairs. 6 laps down. Meanwhile up front, Rutgers Kev is our leader. And he's got a ton of damage. What the heck happened to Rutgers? His left front is all tore up. Let me roll back on him. Coming through the bus stop on lap 21, he gets in the grass, jumps it, the car over the burn and goes into the wall nose first. Tough break for Rutgers Kev there. So back to live action. Brian Herring is our leader in the 33 GNC Livewell Oracle Corvette machine. Kevin Binkley is second in the 1 Omega, 2.1 seconds back. And with Kevin's stuffing in the wall there, he's back to third, 3.4 seconds back. So the top 3 are now spread out a little bit here as Rutgers almost spins it again. I'm sure the downforce is off. That front left corner has got some damage on it. They're going to want to pull the fenders off of that tire. It looks like every time he turns it, the car just wants to rotate. So up front, Brian Herring and Kevin Binkley. Binkley's trying to stay with him, 2.1 seconds back as they go around Leela Wilson. That leaves 5 cars on the lead lap. Kevin E. Smith did go down a lap. And Pogo Boy will be next. Let's take a look at the Porsches. Wilbrenner continues to impress out front. Chris Ladini in second amongst the roughs. Car's looking clean. I don't see any damage on these machines. These guys are doing a great job out there. Running third, F-Law Twatwa. And that peak DSD machine, 232. And then we have Chuck running fourth. Running fifth amongst the roughs, Jimmy Ifling. Looks like he is 3 laps down to the front running roughs though. So amongst the roughs, we got Wilbrenner and Lanini on the same lap, and then F-Law Twatwa is a lap down from them. So there's really 2 of them on that same lap. Lanini's keeping Wilbrenner honest. Not too far back from him, so they're going to continue to race it out here for the class win. Into the next class, with Taurus's problems and his damage and stay on pit road, Lil Guard Dog takes the class lead. After we've seen a couple spins with Lil Guard Dog already. Stay in it, stay in the car, keep going, because you never know what's going to happen. And here he is leading his class. Of course, Leela Wilson trying to stay out of trouble. The moving chicane out there, but impressed anyway to be out there in the slowest car. And yeah, there's been a couple wrecks with faster cars trying to avoid, but it's really the faster car responsibility to get around. Leela's holding their line, running her race. Let those guys go around. So let's keep our eye here on Wilson as the leaders are coming up on Wilson. Here comes O'Keefe right now, and O'Keefe goes by incident-free on the inside. Taurus continues to sit on pit road and Norberg has gotten some repairs and is back out there, but Norberg has some damage, 9 laps down. So the Wilson just spun, I heard. Rolling back at the replay for Wilson. It's interesting, just kind of dirt tracking that car along. You see the hands on the steering wheel sawing, trying to save that car as it slowly comes around. Just the tires worn off and no traction anymore. And you can see Leela turning that thing to the right, trying to save it. Doesn't hit anything. But probably time for some tires on that machine. Going back to live action, Leela Wilson, if she pulls it down here on pit road. Nope, stays out. All right, so let's reset the field here. Brian Herring continues to be our leader, has led all but, I think, one lap. I think O'Keefe led one lap there through that exchange. Running second, Kevin Binkley in that number 1 Omega. And he's actually closing the gap. Last time we looked, I think it was 2 seconds something. It's still 2.2, so he's keeping the distance about the same. The big change here we missed is, looks like Kevin O'Keefe has fallen back. He is in third still, but 50.9 seconds back from the front two runners. Looks like Kevin has had some additional issues here as he tries to get around the 46 machine of Kevin E. Smith, and he does. So we now have a 2-horse race at this point. More lap traffic there. So Kevin O'Keefe fighting real hard for the lead there, and it doesn't take much to get some damage and lose your track position, but he's now running 52 seconds back. Just checking lap times here. Kevin Binkley, 142.7 last lap. Kevin Rucker's a 143.6, so he is off the pace. And Brian Herring ran a 143.7 last lap. Yeah, pit stop should be happening here soon. We're at the 50-minute mark of a 90-minute race. So we're well past halfway. We're about 10 minutes past halfway. I think we've seen some cars on pit road, but that's been due to damage. We haven't seen anybody come down for fuel, per se. So we'll have to continue to watch that. Looks like Binkley is cutting down the gap to the leader there. He's within, 15 car lengths, 1.5 seconds to get around the damaged rough there. Taking a close look at the front of the Brian Herring machine, the leader, you can see the rubber buildup. This is the new thing in iRacing that hasn't been there. Oh, we have a huge wreck. The Bridgestone Rough machine. Let's go back. The number 2 car of Albie Norberg, who already has heavily damaged machine there, spins out, gets his, looks like the rear tire off onto the grass, just a hair. And it causes the car to spin. He knocks it down to the inside wall. So another tough break for Albie Norberg. He gets a tow truck to the pits. Looks like he's taking it behind the wall too. Norberg is done. Tough break. So that was a simple self-spin by Norberg, and Just too much damage to keep it going after that point. Something has happened. Brian Herring has pitted. He's pulling off pit road now. So Brian Herring makes the first move and comes down pit road. Binkley stays out. Looks like a scheduled stop. So back to live action here. Kevin Binkley is our leader. Brian Herring is second. Rutgers Kev third. Actually, Rutgers Kev is second because Brian Herring stopped and the timing hasn't cycled yet. So Binkley on low fuel out there trying to run some fast laps and gap these guys enough so he can pit and retain the lead. But he's got to move fast. We got just a few seconds between second and third. As they come across the line, we'll see the gap. Looks like a 3.5 second gap between Rutgers Kev and Brian Herring for second and third. As far as I know, Kevin O'Keefe still has to stop in that Rutgers machine. And so does our leader, Kevin Binkley, with a 56-second lead. He can certainly stop and get his tires and fuel and get out in the lead with that much of a gap. So Binkley continues to keep it out. I was looking for him to pull it down pit road. He did not. Continues to build his gap. Going to the rough race, looking at Wheelbrenner in the 219, he continues to lead every lap so far in the rough race. And it looks like there's a bigger gap now between him and Lanini in the 222 car. Lanini's quite a ways back. They are on the same lap, though. A lap down from them, Eflo Tatwa in a 232 car. I can't believe I'm saying that. I hope I'm saying it right. I'm not a real fan of the nicknames in iRacing, so like to see real names up there, folks. Chuck, it looks like Chuck got some damage. He's running fourth in the rough class. His right front has gotten hit and is pushed in a little bit. So not sure what happened to Chuck. We must have missed that one. Jimmy Ifling running fifth in class in that 36 machine. Looks pretty clean. I don't see any damage on that. Next class, Little Guard Dog continues to lead by over, let's see if I can do the math, 5 laps over Taurus. So yeah, he could come in for fuel and have a sandwich and use the restroom and probably have a cigarette and then get back out and still beat Taurus. So congratulations, Little Guard Dog, leading class. Let's see if he can bring it home. Leela Wilson still out there, running 13th overall, 9 laps down. And Albie Norberg is behind the wall. Taurus is still out there, 13 laps down. Heavy damage though on his right side. Looks like they had to put a new front and rear right suspension on that car. Remember, he pancaked it really hard coming through the real tight part of the course there, going up the hill. But that front wing, rear wing are still bent up a bit. So let's take a look back up front. Kevin Binkley continues to lead laps here, and let's see if he is gaining or losing in that huge gap he's got over Kevin O'Keefe and Brian Herring. And O'Keefe and Herring here are battling for second. Let's pick this battle up. They're almost nose to tail. Certainly looks like O'Keefe's not worried about his front left damage there and continues to drive the snot out of this car. Really loose there, gets it off in the grass. Brian Herring goes right on by. And Kevin O'Keefe saves the car. Lap 31 here. We're coming up on the 60-minute mark of a 90-minute race. Oh, he's off in the grass again, O'Keefe. So the gap from first to second continues to increase. Brian Herring shown 57 seconds back from Kevin Binkley. When will Binkley stop? Let's pick up Binkley in that Omega machine. Love the rubber buildup. We mentioned that before. You can see it on the front of this black machine too. And how about that, ladies and gentlemen? Kevin Binkley just ran the fastest lap of his race with a 1:42.1. I guess that shows you what the fuel load means to the speed of these cars. This boy's about out of fuel and runs his fastest lap of the race. That's a good 9/10 over what he was running the previous laps. So he really found something. 5 lead changers at this point of the race. We're 2/3 of the way through. Could be that Binkley's just driving really hard here while he's got low fuel, just to increase this gap even more. To be able to get on and off pit road and keep the lead. Yeah, that's a Sebastian Vettel move for sure. So normally I like to do driver interviews, but usually during caution. And we don't really have cautions in road course. Just the local cautions, but they don't mean anything. So Binkley continues to lead. Let's see where Herring crosses the line here and see how the gap increases or decreases. Four cars on the lead lap. Pogo Boy finally went down a lap. Juha Keeley is still running there in 4th position. As Herring goes around that 36 machine, brings it down to the line. Let's see what the gap does. It shortens just a little bit, about 4/10, but boy, that's a long ways to go, and it's 58 seconds. Of course, our leader Binkley still needs to stop. He continues to keep it out there. Let's pick him up as he comes around towards the entrance of pit road. Let's see if he pulls it in here. Coming to take lap 35 now. "24 minutes left in this race, and he keeps it out again." Looks like our leader in the roughs, 219 Wheelbrenner, is on pit road. He brings it down to his crew. Wheelbrenner had a perfect race so far. Does he have enough on Lanini? Looks like Lanini's in too. No, that's F. La Trois. And Wheelbrenner is slow on pit road. The 222 Lanini brings it into pit road as Wheelbrenner pulls it off. I guess, I don't know how long these pit stops take for these cars, but that seems like an awfully long time. Wheelbrenner brings it back out, full tank of fuel, 4 tires. We saw F. La Trois there, but remember, he's a couple laps off of these other guys leading 1st and 2nd in class. And there we saw Brian Herring go by, but Wheelbrenner continues to impress out there. Picking up our leader Binkley continues to go past the entrance of pit road and keeps it out on track again. Gap is pretty much keeping. Right now it says 58 seconds. So 3 cars on the lead lap. Juha Keeley finally went down a lap. He's on pit road right now. Let's cover that stop. 4 tires, they're filling up the fuel, and he's off. So a long time, Keeley was able to keep it on the lead lap. Impressive, but he finally goes a lap down after stopping there. So Keeley running 4th. Pogo Boy is a lap behind Keeley, running 5th. And then Kevin E. Smith running 6th on the same lap as Pogo Boy. Looking at Pogo Boy in the 63 car, he does have some left front damage, pretty significant. We missed what happened there to cause that. We'll have to see how that affects his race. Kevin Smith is not too far behind him as they go around the 44 of Taurus, out there running damaged, trying to keep up. Taurus is showing 14 laps down. Checking lap times on our leader, Binkley. Ran a 144.5 that last lap. That's a couple seconds off. Something must have happened. We missed, but he continues to not pit and keep it out there. Looks like we have 22 minutes left in this race. So looking at the battle for second, Brian Herring has got a nice gap on Kevin O'Keefe. Taking a look at Kevin O'Keefe's machine, almost looks like he's gotten a little more damage than we saw before. Maybe with the left front of the hood sticking up a little bit more. But looking for that podium finish. You know, Kevin's going to have to keep it on the road. If he spins out or something, Juha Keeley is going to be right there on him for that third spot. So we've seen, looking at Juha Keeley now, we've seen him spin. Oh, he's in the grass and he's off track, but saves it. We've seen this white unsponsored car spin out a couple times, but not hit anything. It really doesn't have much damage at all. Maybe a tiny bit on the right front. As Juha Keeley gets around Leela Wilson there. Oh, and he almost spun, trying to avoid one of the roughs. Let's watch Juha Keeley get around the rough traffic. So Keeley continues to fight, try to get up there to third. Picking up our leader, Binkley. Every time he comes around pit road, I want to look. When is our leader going to pit? He's got a 56.9 second lead. Can he pull the Sebastian Vettel type move and pit? He is pitting. He's pitting. Our leader is pitting. And it's really important not to speed on pit road here and get any kind of penalties. It's certainly going to take 4 tires and fuel, I would think. Well, I know Brian Herring is chomping at the bit, trying to make up this gap. And Binkley brings it down. He parked it pretty close to pit wall. That might slow the pit stop down a little bit. That Bridgestone machine behind him, it looks like it's lost its front clip completely. We missed that. And our leader brings it back out on the track. And he's pulled away with the lead easily. Brian Herring is just now coming across the start-finish line now. So, yeah, what a gap. Very impressive, Binkley, to run some fast laps, get that gap, and get back out there full of fuel with fresh tires. Some minutes to go, 18 minutes to go, and he's got a nice gap over Brian Herring. Brian Herring's in the bus stop, and here's Binkley coming down to come around onto the backstretch. As Binkley gets around the 44 of Taurus. Looks like Taurus is going to finish the last running car. He's still out there as a trooper, bringing it home. And that's what you got to do when you're running points. You got to bring it home, even if the car is done. So Kevin Binkley continues to impress here. Let's pick up Brian Herring as he comes across the line. Let's see what the gap is now from first to second. .3 seconds. So he really only needed about a 37-second gap to get the pit stop done and come back out with the lead. He had 58 seconds. Obviously now it's a 17-second gap. And kudos to Kevin Binkley and his team on getting that done. Here in all over the scanner, Kevin Rutgers might have had some issues here. Let's pick him up. He pulls it on the pit road. His right side is all tore up now. Let's check the replay on Rutgers. I hear that's some college. Still looking for the replay. Looks like he goes around a rough there and goes down to take this left-hand turn and just goes wide off in the grass and just slams it into the wall. A nice, good old Darlington stripe. That doesn't work on these type of cars. So, yeah, tough break for O'Keefe. Trying to finish on the podium. What a break for Juha Keeley, who just crosses the line. Let's pick up Keeley. And timing didn't pick it up, but I believe Keeley has third now. Rutgers Kev is back out there, but no, he's not. He took it behind the wall. All right, so let's reset. Starting with our leader, Kevin Binkley. Gap to Brian Herring is now 15.1 seconds. So Brian is closing the gap, but does he have enough time? 14 minutes to go. We're talking he has to pick up a second a lap or more to even catch it, let alone pass it. So this is Kevin Binkley's race to lose at this point. All he has to do is keep it on track and bring it home. Let's check Binkley's lap times here. 144.4 was the last one. 213 the one before. That would be when he stopped. And now a 143.9. So looking at his lap times, he's been running basically 143s there. So if he can keep it in that range, he's going to be just fine. Let's check Brian Herring in second, showing 15 seconds back in that GNC Oracle Corvette Daytona prototype. Looking at his lap times, 143.8. But just the two before that, 142.2, really fast, and a 142.5. So he's driving the wheels off that thing, trying to make up this gap. Let's go on board with the 33 now. You can see him coming up on this lap traffic. And he gets by. You can hear the tires kind of skidding, so to speak, and that just means he's pushing hard. "12 minutes left." As Brian Herring comes around to take the stripe. See if he's getting on this gap with the leader. Wow, 14.5 seconds back. He picked up a half second. It's not going to be enough. Let's check out third place here. Juha Keeley has made it up to third. Congratulations on a nice podium run there. Let's see if we can bring it home. Kevin O'Keefe has taken it behind the wall, so that puts Pogo Boy up to fourth spot, 2 laps down to the leader. A good run for Pogo Boy. Kevin E. Smith, the other Daytona prototype, a whole front clip is gone off that car. He continues to sit on pit road getting repairs done. Let's check out what's going on with the roughs. We haven't looked at them for a while. Wheelbrenner continues to lead the roughs. And Laniki has some damage on his machine, running second. About a half lap or so behind Wheelbrenner. Not sure what happened to Chris Lanini, but damage along the left side of that car. So up front, let's take a look back up there again. Brian Herring continues to smoke this gap away down to 12.5 seconds. We were at 15 last time we called it, so he's picked up a good chunk there. I'm not sure if Binkley had a moment or Herring is just driving the wheels off that machine. Looks like something has happened to F.L.A. Twatwa. Let's pick him up. And that 232 peak DSD machine. He gets into it with a DP Pogo Boy. Pogo Boy drives it in there, but he doesn't know he's there. He has to check up. They touch just a little bit, but once F.L.A. Twatwa knows exactly where he was, he let him right on by. So F.L.A. Twatwa continues to show one of the cleanest cars without damage. There's just a tiny bit of damage on the front right of that, but really kind of stayed out of trouble so far. Running third in class. Let's pick up Chuck fourth in class in the roughs. He's got some heavy right front damage. Showing 8 laps down to the leader, 2 laps behind the 232 car in third. But probably not looking to gain any spots unless something happens to the first top 3 there. Jimmy Efflick, his car looks real clean out there too, running 5th in class. And let's pick up a little guard dog in the 55. Still out there running, 11 laps down, class leader. Leela Wilson continues to be our moving chicane. Just kidding, but you know, that car has stayed pretty clean as far as getting damage and stuff, so 12 laps down, running 13th overall. 14th Taurus, still out there bringing up the rear. Now up front, let's take a look again at Binkley. The gap now to Herring is 11.3 seconds to that Oracle machine, and and Herring is almost sideways, but saves the car. Driving the wheels off of it. Let's keep our eye on Herring for a little bit. He gets around Leela Wilson. And that car is fishtailing in the corners for sure. Yeah, I've run this car as well sometimes, and you have to drive it very aggressively, getting in on the brakes and everything. You just drive it hard, and it looks like that's what Herring's doing. He continues to pull a gap, shrink the gap here. Is he going to have enough time? So we're at 10.5 seconds for the gap from first to second. Yeah, I'm having a discrepancy about the time of the finish of the race. IRTVO is saying 10 minutes 30 seconds, but iRacing is saying 5 minutes 30 seconds. So we'll have to see here. When we get down to the end, we will get the white flag shown, so we'll know. Kevin Binkley still out front. Racing his guts out, trying to win this race. Shuha Keeley running third, 1 lap down. Herring crosses the line, 9.6 seconds now is the gap. It continues to shrink. I don't know if he's got enough time though. All it takes is one slip by our leader, Binkley, and Herring will be right there with him. Taking a quick look at the roughs to see if where those guys are running. Will Brenner continues to be our leader, has led every single lap. Very impressive run in that 219 Windows 8 machine. I'd love to know if he meant that to be a Windows 8 machine or not, but it sure looks like it. Chris Lanini continues to run second in class, but heavily damaged along the left side there. So continue to watch our leader here going around lap traffic, making sure he doesn't wreck, and all he has to do is bring it home. We either have 3 minutes left or 8 minutes left, according to the 2 clocks I see. And I'm going to replay the leader there going into 1. I was almost a moment. Going around the damaged machine of the Bridgestone machine, he had to really kind of slice around the outside of him, and they almost hit. That was close. That's exactly what Herring was looking for. The gap first to second now 7.4 seconds. Herring continues to cut it. And now he's got him within sight. As our leader pulls it up onto the backstretch, Herring joins them on the backstretch. They're now on the same part of track pretty much. Can he get it done? The sim is saying 1 minute and 45 seconds left in this race. There is some discrepancy in the timing and scoring, but we'll see here if the white comes out or not. It does not. We continue to stay green. That's what Herring wants to see here. The gap is 6.3 seconds. He's getting a second a lap, folks. It's impressive for sure. Looking at Binkley's last lap time, 1:43.6. And Herring, 1:42.5. Herring has been in the 1:42s for the last 6 laps. So doing what needs to be done here to try to make something happen. One slip by Binkley and he's there. So my sim clock has just expired at 1 hour and 30 minutes. But we're still green, so yeah, something's up there. IRTVO showing 5 minutes left. Maybe that's correct. But if that's the case, Herring might catch him. Binkley just needs to keep his head on here and not panic and bring it home. I've been in this situation where the race is in your hands and the pressure is on, and it just causes you to make mistakes. You just got to forget about that you're leading the race, that it's your race to give up and that kind of thing, and just hit your marks, bring it home. .9 seconds is now the gap. As our leader negotiates lap traffic here, nervous moments for sure. Brian Herring continues to close down the gap. We might have a race for the lead here right at the end. Binkley's last lap was a 1:44.5. Really allowing the second place to close up there. Let's see how it shakes out as they come around to the line this time. No change with our roughs. Will Brenner continues to lead every lap. But focusing up front on our overall lead, Brian Herring can see the leader up ahead of him. Can he get anything done? IRTVO showing 3 minutes left in session. That's probably 2 laps, so the gap is now 3.4 seconds as they cross the line. So Brian Herring continues to get it done. Last lap was a 1:42.5. Those 1:42s he's stacking up have been very impressive on this last run. Digging hard, trying to make something happen here. Binkley almost has a moment there going around the rough. Chalk, I believe it is. Two minutes left. This very well could be the white flag as we come across the line. And the gap is shrinking, you can see it. Oh, and there's lap traffic might play into this as Binkley has to slow up for the 44 of Taurus. Looks like Herring got by cleanly. Boy, after 1 hour and 30 minutes to have these two guys running this close, boy, what a finish. Dogs of Racing Endurance League. Bunch of great drivers, really fast. Did not see the carnage I kind of expected for Watkins Glen. And here we got another lap car. Looks like he gets by cleanly. But here's Herring. He's got to run. He's got the draft, actually, of the one car of Binkley in that Omega machine. Herring drives it in. He's right there at the bus stop. We got a race for the lead. Oh, and Herring spins and dives it into the inside wall. His race is done. Binkley is breathing a sigh of relief. Wow. 30 seconds left. Herring has got to be livid. So let's stay with Binkley as he crosses the line and picks up the win if he can bring it home this last few corners. What a race there we had for the lead. Herring, I don't know if he panicked or what. We're going to have to look at the replay of that later when we have a chance. But, yeah, he was right there. And I think the pressure was too much. And he knew he had to make it happen, and it didn't work out. And that's the checkered. There's our winner, Kevin Binkley, in the #1 Omega machine. And here comes Brian Herring in second, bringing it home. Really tore up the right side of that car. We'll have to check the replay there. What a finish. Gave us a great race there at the end. Very impressive with Herring closing up that gap through that last run. And here comes Keeley across the line. Podium finish in third overall. Great run for the 12 car, that unsponsored white machine. Pogo Boy is going to finish fourth, it appears. He's bringing it around now. Final lap for him. Looks like Wilbrenner is our winner in the roughs. He's already crossed the line. And Chris Lanini is going to bring it home second. Elfois Trois running third. Going to bring it home here. Get ready to cross the line. Great podium finish for the 232 machine. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to Brian Herring now for that race for the lead on the final lap. So let me find the replay here. So lap 52 at the bus stop, Brian Herring completely caught the one car of Kevin Binkley. Going down into the bus stop, he completely is right in the mirrors of Kevin Binkley. coming out of the bus stop, he just barely hits the, the grass there with the right sides. And we saw that earlier. If you just get the tire off just a little bit, the car will turn. And, and he's trying so hard, he just gets it off just a hair, and the car turns hard right into the wall. Tough break for Herring. Let's see if we can get a word with our winner, Binkley. Kevin Binkley, Mike Ellis up in the booth. You got me?
Loud and clear.
Hey, congratulations on the win there. I called it the Sebastian Vettel move when you had the 58-second gap when you stayed out there before you went down to take your tires and fuel. How much gap did you think you needed? And obviously you got out in front after that stop. Great move.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't know, I couldn't see on the relative how far ahead I was, so I had to push it the entire time. I mean, he definitely had the speed, and really I just knew it was going to come down to how much fuel I took, which I thought I was going to run out there at the end, but managed to have enough fuel, and then Brian was right behind me. So either way, it was, I didn't know what the gap was, but I knew I had to get out there as far as I could.
Well, congratulations. You know, when he did catch you there, it looks like he made a mistake, and but you held your line and got the job done. Great win, great racing there at the end. So, you have any shout outs or thank yous you want to give?
Yeah, everybody in the league, I mean, the amount of respect that these guys have out on the track is commendable. I mean, when you're flying up behind these guys, they don't have a lot of time to react, but I really have to give a shout out to all the members of this league, you guys for the broadcast, and Michelle for putting this whole thing together. Class grade A guys, these are.
All right. Well, congratulations again and winning that in that Omega machine. It was sure fun watching you out there. So let's get a word with our second place runner.
Thank you very
Hey, Brian Herring, it's Mike Ellis up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish there. We just got done watching the replay of when you caught the leader there in the bus stop. Tell us what happened.
I was just, for the past 8 laps, I was just pushing so hard. The tires were about done. I was just giving it everything I had. And coming through the bus stop, I just got a little loose on exit. And surprisingly enough, we had a practice race the other day, and me and Kevin going through the same area, I did the same thing. But he was just very consistent. He had a game plan, and that 16-second pit penalty is what really cost me.
Yeah, we saw you on pit road, and we couldn't tell why it was taking so long, but obviously that explains it. Tell us about that last run. We were watching your lap times, 142s. I mean, on average, compared to the leaders, 143s and 144s, you were coming, and it was a matter of time before you got there, and you got there right at the right time, right at the end. I thought you had it. But your rights just barely touched the grass. You think it was the loss of air, with you right behind him, perhaps?
It might have been. I was just going so hard through that bus stop trying to catch him, and I knew I was watching the time from the last 18 minutes. So essentially, every lap I had to make up 2 seconds, and that was my goal. And I was just pushing so hard, and I knew if I could get within the last 3 seconds, I could pull the draft on him. And he had traffic in front of him. That was the perfect time to actually push him near the end. But I mean, my hat's off to him because he raced a good race. He raced a clean race. He probably had a zero incident race as well. So he did a great job.
Well, it was his to lose. Yes, absolutely. He did a great job. But you kept him honest, and you kept it very exciting for us up here in the booth. Congratulations. Do you have any shout outs or thanks you want to give?
Just want to thank my wife and my kids because once again they let me do this. To Michael for hosting the league and all the great guys who are racing tonight. I mean, it was a very tough race. Lots of people's in the 140 for qualifying, so everyone was very fast, including Rutgers Kev. If he wouldn't just had that one off, essentially the same thing I did, where he touched the grass and kind of lost it in front of me, that he would have been right up there too.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you, Mike. Have a good week.
All right. Third place, Juha Keeley does not appear to be in TeamSpeak, so we're not going to be able to talk to third place. But let's talk to one more driver. Let me grab him. Kevin O'Keefe, Mike Ellis up in the booth. You got me?
I'm here.
Hey, you didn't make the podium, but we thought we'd get an interview anyway because you were mixing it up there with Binkley and Herring through most of the race there, and even led a lap. So tell us, what happened.
I had a case of leaderitis. Every time I took the lead, I'd mess it up. So the what did me in was I went through the bus stop too hot, and instead of spinning the car, I decided to run through the grass. I think I still had control of the car. I'd be like, oh, I'll just take a lazy trip through the grass here. There's a giant bump in the grass, and it sent me up in the air into the wall. And after that, I was too slow.
Yeah, we actually caught that live as we were covering you going around the track, and yeah, it absolutely launched your car up into the air and into the wall pretty much. But tough break, but it was exciting to see you up on the wheel, literally driving the heck out of that car.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it was fun. I just decided to have a fun day today and had a couple beers while I was streaming. But yeah, I wish I could have finished it. It would have been a good battle.
All right, well, it was fun watching you. Congratulations, even though you didn't have a good finish, it was a good run overall, probably.
All right, thanks.
Well, let's take a look at our final results here. Kevin Binkley is our winner in that one machine. Boy, he got the job done, didn't he? He kept it on track when he needed to, especially with the pressure from Brian Herring. Again, impressive with his run in that last run with the 142s, making up second, 2 seconds a lap to get there in time to at least have a chance for the lead. Juha Keeley finishing third. Then we have Pogo Boy in fourth. Nice run for Pogo Boy. Finishing first in class, Will Brenner. Let's see if we can get a word with him. Brennan Wilbrenner, it's Mike Ellis in the booth. You got me?
Yes, I do.
Sorry it took so long to get down to you, but a nice race. I think you led every lap, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so too.
Yeah, impressive run. How was your race out there today?
Well, it was fun, but I wish I had more company, I guess. There wasn't much of a race after lap like 10 because the person that was able to keep up with me crashed. So then the rest of the race was just me solo.
Yeah, you're speaking about Norberg, and yeah, Norberg was running right there with you for the longest time. Finally, Norberg had some problems, but you were able to keep it on track and bring it home. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
You have any shout outs or thanks you want to give to anybody?
Thanks to Dog for hosting the session and having this league here.
All right, well, congratulations. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Well, that's our winner in the roughs, which again, that's the Porsche, I think, with the Mercedes engine. I know these guys are going to tell me I'm wrong, but we'll see. See if we can get a second place in here if we have time. Chris Lanini, it's Mike Ellis up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me okay?
Did I say your name right?
Yeah, actually you did.
Okay, good. Well, congratulations on a podium finish. Second, how was your race today?
Not bad. I looped it once and backed into the wall a little bit, but it didn't seem to actually slow my car down at all, which is kind of weird considering how the Porsche has been having some issues with damages. But I just tried to run my own race basically because this is the first time I've ever run in a road course league, first time I've ever run in a multi-class race, and I like the track, but I was kind of out of my element.
Well, congratulations. I know you were running third or even farther back for most of the race because Norberg was up there running in second for a long time, but you're able to keep it on track and bring it home. Congratulations. Do you have anybody to thank out there?
Yeah, thank my wife. She was watching the whole time, either on my computer or on your guys' broadcast. So I'd like to say hi to her, and just thanks to the people who put on the league for putting on a good league, a unique league, and keeping it from becoming a mess, which could happen with so many cars, but they do a good job. So thanks to them.
Well, good. We thank your wife too for letting you be out here with us and have some fun. We thank all the wives and girlfriends out there who allow us to do our sport that we love so much. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's see. Third is our my favorite name, Eflaw Twatwa. I do not see Eflaw Twatwa in TeamSpeak, so we'll not be able to interview the third place driver for the roughs. Let's pick up the street stocks. Leela Wilson, class winner, but of course she didn't. She was the only one out there. Leela not in TeamSpeak either. So let's pick up finally Little Guard Dog, our winner in class of the barber cars. Little Guard Dog, Mike Ellis up in the booth.
Hello.
Hey, congratulations on your class win.
Well, it's about time I get one, other than when there's actually somebody else in my class.
Well, there was. Taurus was there keeping you honest, but unfortunately Taurus wrecked out pretty early and had a lot of damage there. But man, we saw you loop it a few times as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the way I'm running the league, because I'm running it, I know exactly what cars are coming in and what cars are going out. So I restrict myself to the first race in the mornings. I'm always taking the new car coming in, regardless of what it is, and then I take the least preferred one after that for the PM race. So sometimes quite often I'm sitting there driving by myself. So I was actually really glad that I had some competition this time. And them street stocks, they get us on I was in the Skippy. Them street stocks get us on the straights, but we can get them on the corners. So even the street stocks and these Skippies together are a really good mix.
And I tell you what, it's the oddest thing in the world to call from the booth, seeing the street stock and the open wheel car out there together on track. But you're right, they're absolutely equal almost. You guys were racing together a lot.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things that I like about this league, is it gives us a chance to see things that you don't normally see. Like lots of the other leagues I found on iRacing, they're always one type of thing or another type of thing, and I was getting tired of that. So I made this league to be different. I try making sure that I have at least one of every type of vehicle, whether it be prototype, open wheel, oval, regular tin tops or whatever, and I try keeping it varied. I try also keeping all of the vehicles equally distributed too, so that not one gets used over and over and over again. So it makes it interesting.
Absolutely. Well, we had a heck of a race that you probably missed because you were in the cockpit, but heck of a race up front with the DPs. Very exciting finish, and I was happy to certainly call this race for the Dogs of Racing Endurance League, and make sure to join us next time for that call. From MaxSpeedTV Racing, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.